Here, fun lovers, truth seekers, you have found us. We are right here every afternoon for Rutherford Issues, coming to you today from Smyrna. It's our bi-monthly trek to Smyrna, and we are here at Motlow State Community College, just off Motlow, is it Boulevard? Yeah, Motlow Boulevard, yeah. Just down the road from the Y, where we normally are broadcasting from the North Rutherford YMCA, but George Ortega's invited us down, and good to be here. Mike Sparks, County Commissioner for the Smyrna area, is joining us as well. Mike, how are you?
Hey, doing good, Brian. How you doing?
Hey, can't complain. 81 degrees, sunny skies. I heard some rumbles of thunder on the way in, though.
Yeah. It looked bad last night. You saw that lightning?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have it, in my area. It's always sunny and 72.
Is it?
Even at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But anyway, we've got a few things to talk about before we jump into our Motlow State Community College conversation. I did just receive this news that I thought I would pass along. The state has released its unemployment numbers, and for Rutherford County, the rate remains at 9.2% from March to April, so there was no change. Hopefully that's a good sign. We've been on a steady decrease for the past long time, and now it's maybe leveling out here a bit. 9.2% in April of 2009, and March of 2009 was 9.2%. Just in comparison, the state is at 9.9%, up from 9.6%. And what does all of that mean? It means 11,940 were reportedly unemployed in April of 2009. The numbers compare, Mike, to April of 08, 4.7% to 9.2% in April. That's, I guess, the biggest number. It's a 4.5% jump, which is almost, it's over double.
Yeah, who would have thought that?
Just under double.
Who'd have guessed that?
But hopefully the signs of change, and staying the same is better than continuing to fall, and maybe 9.2% will be the height of it.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, it's pretty bad. I was just talking to a gentleman just an hour and a half ago, and his wife was laid off, I think, from Hartman Luggage, I believe, in Lebanon. They had just laid off.
Also, Mike, we had, I guess this is no way to end a school year, but a young person here in Smyrna just last week was tragically killed in a car accident, and you've got some details on that because I know that you're a friend of the family, and we actually had the young man on the radio last year.
Yeah, Nathan Ely. He was on with us last year. We had some Smyrna Laverne students come up, and in fact, if anybody wanted to, if you went to Google and you typed in WGNS radio, probably Smyrna Laverne students, Nathan's one in the green shirt talking, and we talked about Smyrna West Alternative School, and he was there, and he was really a good young man. Just made a couple of bad choices, like we all do, like I've done in the past, and but he was talking about how he had to earn ketchup and mustard. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. And I think the school really had a positive impact on his life. But yeah, we got a phone call Sunday night, and that there was a bad car wreck, and went out there. My wife went out there to the ER, and I didn't think it was that bad, but I had to call the mother and tell the mother to come to the ER, and it was the worst night of my life to see the mother just come out of the ER with a pale look on her face, and then to see the grandmother get the news and the father get the news. And I learned the other night, though, the only thing worse than a mother's cries are a father's cries. Mm-hmm. And one thing I'm hoping that will come out of this, there was about 300 students showed up last night at a little candlelight vigil that the students put together, that I'm proud of the community kind of coming together. The Smyrna High SROs, they come out, and the Smyrna Police directed traffic. Want to say thank you to the officers that showed up. Officer Acton come out and helped, and I can't remember the other officer. I wish I could remember his name, but they came together. The visitations tonight at the funeral home in Hermitage. I think it's Hermitage Funeral Home, Chutes Lane, from 6 to 8 tonight. Funeral tomorrow from 12 to 2. But I think they were driving at a high rate of speed and went off the road, and man was killed. And my son had took the little boy's sister to prom. They all kind of went to prom together, but it's just tragic, And these kids, you talk to them, and you try to tell them the choices you make not only affects your life, it is a ripple effect.
Sure.
I mean, that grandmother, she told me, she said, that's the second grandchild I've lost to a car accident. That grandfather told me, he said, that was my only grandchild. And it's just tragic. I mean, I just can't imagine losing a child. And, the boy was real close to us. I mean, he worked for me for a while, and my wife carried him to church. And
well, your son could have very easily been in that car, too.
Oh, well,
I understand.
They thought my son was in there. I mean, that's what the rumor was. But I'd got on to my boy just a week prior and was telling him to be home early and, to stay out of trouble and so forth. And he's kind of been fishing and so forth, just staying out of, trouble and so forth. And, you pray with them and ask good Lord to protect them. But, some of these questions that I ask, I can't understand why these things happen, but I just hope that somehow some young child or somebody will look and realize that this mother's brokenhearted, this grandmother's brokenhearted, the grandfather's brokenhearted, the sister, the father, and
it's not only now, and it's not one of those short-term things either. I mean, this is something that will affect decisions that they make the rest of their life.
And the young man who was driving, and he's a good boy. On a roll, plays football, and you just driving fast like that, and
now, how many times you, as a teenager, did you drive?
Oh, I know. I'm guilty of it, and that's where it's kind of hypocritical for me sometimes to preach to my sons when I done the same thing. And
but isn't that what parenting's supposed to be?
I
Learn
guess
from those experiences.
I tell you, it's. I was talking to a gentleman earlier who lost his son years ago, and he just told me, he said, every day I think about my son, and I lost my father in that hospital, and that experience, losing my dad, was nothing compared to watching that mother and that father and those grandparents. So if there's anyone out there, just, if you got young teens, give them a big hug tonight, tell them you love them, and take them by that crossover on Old Jefferson Pike, and you show them what driving at a high rate of speed like that will do to them.
There's a television commercial, and I don't even know what product that it was selling, but it shows the dad talking to a girl, maybe 5, 6, 7 years old, saying, "Dad, I want the keys tonight. Why do you want the keys? I'm going out, blah, blah, blah." And then turn around and the girl is old enough to drive. She's a teenager or whatever. And then the son comes through in his little tie, but he's, 5, 6, 7 years old. He's going to work. You turn around and those kind of things. I mean, your kids grow up, but you never expect when they go out that door that they might not come back.
Well, Nathan he really did have a good heart. You hear people give people accolades when they passed on, but truly he had a good heart. He was very kind and compassionate. And I always remember a little story that me and him had talked about. It was a young man who committed suicide. It was from Laverne. I think he was about 16 years old and attended Smyrna West Alternative School. And I remember what Nathan had made the comment. He said something about, the boy is from a broken home. He said if somebody would have been there for that boy, then he probably wouldn't have committed suicide. Because he said he was really a good kid. He just made a couple of bad choices, and but just keep the family in your prayers out there, and if you do have teenagers, carry them by that crossover there on Old Jefferson. It's off of Jefferson Pike. If you left Nissan Drive, you'd go down about a mile, turn on Old Jefferson Pike right there. But just want to say thank you to those students that showed up, and those SROs and the Smyrna Police Department for kind of helping to coordinate traffic and so forth last night.
Mike, what's going on in county business? Looks like going to have a budget before the end of next month anyway. That's July, or I guess the end of next month, which is June, for July. New fiscal year.
I'm not looking forward to it, to be honest with you, and I'm sure no one else is neither. And it's just, things are, things were blowing and going, and you had a lot of revenue coming in. Now things have cut back, and I think just like government, I think our own personal budgets live beyond our own means, and sometimes things catch up with us. And I think not only is it catching up with government, but it's caught up with a lot of local folks. I mean, really, if you look at our federal government, local government's no different than federal government if you think about it. I mean, think about it, we're really bankrupt if you think about it. I mean, from what